And we continue with Stuart Lehman. Stuart is assistant curator here at the Capitol. And Stuart, we're at the $1 Million Staircase. This is really the focal point of the building, is it not?
Yes, it was one of the last major ceremonial parts of the building to be constructed. It took 14 years. Its official name is the Great Western Staircase, but because it cost $1.5 million to build in the 19th century, which was considered an outrageous sum of money at the time, it received the nickname the $1 Million Staircase, which it's been known as ever since.
And the $1 Million Staircase really is a focal point for people who want to come here and make their presence known,
Yes.
Demonstrate, etc.
Yes, people flock to this area. Not only demonstrators, but many school groups come here and get their pictures taken.
Mm-hmm. The $1 Million Staircase is sandstone?
Yes, it's a special sandstone called Corsehill Freestone that's imported all the way from Scotland.
I'm sorry, go ahead.
It's renowned for its ease in carving and has a huge number of carvings on it. 77 famous faces, nearly 100 smaller faces at Capitol unknowns.
Who are some of the famous ones?
George Washington, Abraham Lincoln, Thomas Jefferson, and a famous resident of Utica, New York, Roscoe Conkling.
Roscoe Conkling. In fact, he's got a portrait or a bit.
He's one of the famous faces carved into the staircase.
Let's go see that if you don't mind. But before we leave, is there a cornerstone to this building?
Yes, but its location is currently unknown. There was a huge ceremony putting it in place in 1871. It included inside it newspapers and coins and other artifacts from the time. But it wasn't marked where its location was on the building, so it would be very hard to find.
Lost in time, huh?
Yes.
Okay. Let's go take a look at Roscoe Conkling.
Yes.
Stuart, is there a name for the room we're in now?
Yes, we're in the flag room, and it houses much of New York State's collection of battle flags. It has one of the largest collection of battle flags in the country. Over 800 of them are from the Civil War, and they actually played not only a role in communication on the battlefield, they were the honor of the individual regiments that carried them. So men died protecting these particular flags, which is why they're such an important artifact.
And close to that is the war room.
Yes.
And are we close to that?
It's right above us.
All right, let's go to the war room then.
Yes.
Stuart, I think I can answer my own question why this is called the war room. All you need to do is look up at the ceiling.
Yes, the official name is the governor's reception area, but the mural, which was painted in the 1920s by William de Leftwich Dodge and dedicated by Governor Franklin Roosevelt, is meant to represent New York State through various conflicts in its history. It goes from Samuel de Champlain to Fort Stanwix in Rome, New York, in the Revolutionary War, on through Gettysburg and France in World War I, where New York troops served. The artist had help, including his 20-year-old daughter, Sarah. So when it came time to choose a model for the central figure representing the spirit of New York mourning her war dead, he chose his 20-year-old daughter. The room also has some wonderful exhibits in it. It's used for changing exhibits, so it's well worth a visit.
Stuart, you know, one of the little things that I like about coming into the Capitol is what people call the little demon, and it's kind of hidden away And unless somebody pointed it out to me years ago, but if they hadn't, I wouldn't even know it was there.
Yes. Every old building has to have a few legends about it, and one of ours has to do with the Capitol's secret demon. According to the legend, a stone carver was so angry with his boss one day that he put a curse on the building by carving a secret devil into the stonework. We don't think that the curse is true, but we know that the stoneworkers were very skilled and they had a great sense of humor. So it's not surprising they would hide something in plain sight.
Well, that's a great story, and if it's not true, let's hope it's true. And we've got one more story to tell, and that is the Howl of Governor. So if you'll take us over there, we'll wrap it up. Stuart, just to acclimate everybody, in front of us is the Senate staircase. And then to the right of us is the entrance to the Hall of Governors.
Yes, the Hall of Governors.
And behind us, and we go full circle with this.
Yes, is the portrait of the very first governor of New York, George Clinton. He was also the longest serving governor at 21 years. He went on to become vice president under Jefferson and Madison, the only vice president to have served under two presidents. He was a friend of George Washington, and you might notice how this picture is very similar to the portrait that we saw when we started the tour in the State Street lobby. Both portraits were painted at the same time by the same artist, Ezra Ames, and they were meant to be together in the same part of the Capitol.
And when we go into the Hall of Governors, you were telling me before, Stuart, that there's 3 governors' portraits that aren't in there.
Yes, we have 53 of the 56 governors of New York State. The only governors that are not in there, of course, Governor Andrew Cuomo's picture isn't due yet because the portrait is usually presented after a governor leaves office. Eliot Spitzer's portrait has not yet arrived. And there was one governor way back in 1828. He only served for 8 months. He apparently never had a painting painted of himself that we know of. And he died before photography was invented, so we have no idea what Nathaniel Pitcher actually looked like. But we still Google him occasionally in case a portrait turns up in somebody's attic somewhere.
Well, I tell you, we appreciate you taking us around the Capitol. You know your history, Stuart. Thank you so much.
Okay.
And if somebody wants to come down, they just go to the tour desk.
Yes, yep. Every weekday we have tours 10, 12, 2, and 3. If you have a group or a school group, please call the Capitol tour office, or you can find us online at empirestateplaza.org.
Okay, thank you. And thank you. That's going to do it for us this week. We'll be back next week. We'll do it all again. Until next time, take care of yourself, everybody.